Hi, I'm Patty with Studio R12 Stencils, and today we are going to show you how paint can change the personality of your stencil. All right, today we are going to be staining our background, and I'm going to be using the Minwax water-based stain. This is such a big advantage over the oil-based stain because it dries just like paint, so you're going to be quickly moving through your project. Something that I highly recommend is making a little chip chart for all of the colors that you have. So I just, applied a single coat on there. The color I'm going to use today is Cypress, but notice how green this cypress looks. And then notice how green, dark green, this legacy brown looks. It doesn't look anything like its end result, and I don't know why that is, but it's lovely to have these little chips so that I know exactly what I'm going to be getting into. Okay, so those are just stir sticks. So we are going to apply with a sponge, and I'm going to use a fold top sandwich bag as my glove. And so then you just put your hand in there, and then you've got nice hand protection. You can go into water and squeeze, 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 and then you can step on it in a paper towel just to have it damp. You don't want it sloppy wet, but you do want it a little wet. And then this stuff does stick to your fingers, so make sure that you do wear some sort of hand protection. And then I'm just going to use this rounded sponge, and we're going to apply just a thin, even coat. This sponge makes applying stains so easy and quick. And there we are. So then you just wash this out. Don't use soap. Just rinse, 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 and squeeze, and then you'll be clean. So my second board, I'm going to do 2 boards today so that I can show you how one stencil creates 2 personalities and multiple personalities. You could totally do a million things with one stencil, change their color, change the technique, change anything about it, and it becomes a totally different project. So stencils are very diverse and very, very, well, diverse is a good word. Okay, so now we've got whitewash. This is a color that I've been using for a long time. It makes the prettiest backgrounds for projects. And you can do a couple of coats, or you can just do like a single coat. So it is up to you how you do it. 2 coats will give you heavier coverage, a darker color. And I have to go get clean water. You want clean water when you're gonna load something with white. And I think I'm just gonna leave a little bit of water in that. So I'm squeezing it tight, but it won't be as tight as with my foot. I was finding this board is big enough, I was finding myself wanting just a little bit more movement in my paint. You want to keep your lines straight. This is showing some of the texture of the sponge. So keep your lines, be cognizant of what is showing, because that will dry that way. All right, so with this barn quilt stencil, there's a lot of big open holes, so we're going to use our jumbo dauber. We could also use a roller. That might be a better idea. I might do that. But because this has got a lot of pieces going on, I'm going to do extra tape this time. I'm going to tape on all 4 sides, just a little bit. I just don't want anything sliding around. So I have a very well-used roller. If you keep your rollers in good condition, then they'll stay and stay and stay, and it's wonderful. It's lovely not to throw them away. You just have to remember to get them clean. Okay, so we're going to roll over here on our palette. I'm going to push the paint in. Get it nice and even, and then I'm going to offload over here. It's really important to get just a good load in there and then to definitely offload. And when we apply the paint to this surface, we are going to do it with no pressure. Right over here, this is like wanting to flop just a little bit. So I'm going to hang on to it with my multi-masker. Let's just go up here. Okay. So no pressure. And I kind of like to do like a forward away from my edge of my stencil. And you'll just do a couple of little thin coats. Talking and painting is apparently not my strong suit today. Okay, so I'm going to switch to an ink sweeper for this long skinny line. And notice that I offloaded that too. And I've got another skinny line over here. Okay, I'm just going to take this off and flip it over. Let's take a peek. Okay, awesome. So what we have a little bit of blurbles of bleeding through, okay? And I've got a little bit on my edge. So what do we do about this? I think this is where we have great lessons. So let's have a lesson. I did not intentionally try to do that, and I really thought I was offloading with my roller. So this is the decision that you make when you are going to use a roller. You have to know that you got to go light pressure, and I'm always heavy-handed, and I know this about myself. Sigh. But I think a little sanding is going to take this right to where it needs to be. I'm just going to, and there, nice and disappeared. A little bit over here. So when you have a stencil, this is like the what not to do when you're stenciling with a project that fits your board. So if your stencil goes all the way to your edges and you're using a roller, your movements are going to be big. If it doesn't perfectly line up, then you might have a mess or a possible mess. So what I would do to prevent that is I would tape my edge. Okay, so that is a fix for that. So know that if your stencil is exactly the same, that is what you would do. Okay, so that's fixed right there. Okay, but see how easy that is to fix. And then, so you could go in and you could use your eraser and you could get in there and make some adjustments. So let me show you what that looks like. So you take your eraser and you get it wet, and let's see if I see a spot that I don't like. And then just erase the edge of it. Okay, but I'm going to dry it and I'm going to sand it. So that is one way that you can fix it. I'm going to dry this, we're going to sand, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so we have our sanding disc, our block, and then what I'm going to do is just go nice and gently. And see, it's just picking up right at the edge. It's also going through my paint, so we'll make that be part of this project. Keep your lines nice and straight. Okay, so sanded, and now it doesn't make it look crisp, it makes it look not warbly, if that makes sense. So this is a great way to just take away little mistakes. Anything that you don't like, just go back with the little tip of your sanding block. Just take them away. Just try to keep your lines straight. Okay. So that is a simple barn square. This looks so beautiful with boho and just the minimalist farmhouse, that kind of thing. This looks gorgeous with like, it just is, it's a beautiful look. So this is simple aesthetic, Really cool. Now we're going to show you how to change this same stencil into Christmas. In the previous example, I used a roller and I ended up getting stuff schmutz on my edges. Okay, so in this case, I'm not going to be using a roller. So I'm not worried about the schmutz because my applicators will stay within the boundaries given to them. Going to use the Stencil Dirty. If this was red first, I would wash the stencil because red has a tendency of coming off onto your paint. So if it was red first, I would wash the stencil. And we have a video here on YouTube that will show you how to do that. So we're going to use a couple of applicators. I'm going to show you how you would do this with a jumbo dome brush and then with the jumbo dauber. And then I'm going to use the ink sweeper again. Remember when you're using these applicators that you always are going to pounce off so that you don't end up bleeding under your stencil. Okay, we'll go into our jumbo dauber first. Also with the jumbo dauber, I like to start in the middle and then work my way up and around. And so see how I'm trying to get like even coverage by going round and round and round? That's walking the color out. And it is beneficial to work methodically. Okay, we'll let that completely dry and then come back to it. And then I think I'll use the brush on these areas. So let's load that, and then you offload. So this area I can swirl in here or stipple, so either is fine. So 3 coats, 2 coats on these and 3 coats on here. This is a much lighter application. I need these to dry and I want to get one more smoothing coat on top and then we will be ready to reveal. Okay, smoothing coat, this is what I would do. You dry it and then just go ahead and then just wipe over the top of your space wherever you see something that needs to be a little bit smoothed out. Make sure you continue to offload. Okay, and then I think I want some spatters. And did you know that you can spatter right through your stencil? So I'm going to get some water. I'm using paint color number 37, and I'm thinning my paint to an inky consistency. Then I'm going to get a big, heavy-handed brush and test spatter over here. Spatters will go everywhere, so protect your nice things. And then I just want it to snowy spatter over the top. If you add more water, your spatters will be looser, and if you add less water, they will be tighter. I'm not convinced I can see that very well, so I'm going to go into a little bit of black. Okay, I'm gonna hit this with a blow dryer before I reveal because spatters. So at my house, Christmas is a little bit more textured and antique and that kind of thing. I like textures. So I'm probably going to sand this. I don't know if I need to sand it or not, but I'm probably going to. So let's pull this off. Yeah, that looks really good. The spatters look great in there. And what I love about this is one stencil, two different, completely different looks on this. So know that that is just really cool that when you're stenciling, you don't have to go country, you don't have to go Christmas. This could be in baby colors and it would be a perfect fit for a baby's room or something like that. So the color is going to change the personality of your stencil. Steve brought up a really good point. I want to point it out to you guys. It's a what to do if you do it intentionally. I did not do it intentionally, but it worked out. He was wondering why this looks like fabric, and you have, I have applied my paint one direction and then sanded the other direction, so I have kind of a almost woven look. So make sure that you're paying attention to keep your lines lined up, or be prepared to have a woven look. All right, so now let's see, which way did I apply my stain? This way. And then we're going to give it some antiquing on the edges. Okay, now I'll go through it. Doing it with the jumbo dauber and the large dome brush was more layers and more work, but I feel like the control that I had was better over here than it was with my roller. If you're going to use the roller, don't be like me and don't push too hard, because that's heavy-handed and that's not what you want to have with a roller. And then make sure that you definitely roll off more than you think you're going to need to. I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. Make sure that you subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you in the next video.